two childhood best friends, Tomo and Jun. They're starting high school, and as often happens, one feels more than friendship. Tomo bravely confesses, and Jun seems to reciprocate those feelings. Of course he would. He loves his buddy. Yes, Jun sees Tomo as his pal. Jun sees Tomo as a guy. And with this misunderstanding, the story begins. As close friends, Tomo endures Jun's buddy-like behavior, playful slaps and grabs. Tomo always responds by hitting back. Both practice karate and spar, though Tomo's at a disadvantage as a girl. Jun pins Tomo down, seeing only a friend to roughhouse with. Unsure what to do, Tomo asks advice from Misuzu, their childhood friend. From a young age, Tomo strives to be seen as masculine by Jun. But Misuzu sees Tomo as all-woman for two obvious reasons. Misuzu, a cold girl, helps Tomo when possible and endlessly teases Jun, as they don't get along well. She always wears her eerie smile, knowing that Jun, despite acting tough, has a soft spot for Tomo. She teases him to see Tomo as a woman, but mainly because she enjoys watching people suffer. Jun tries to ignore her, but it's not easy. Believe it or not, they were once dating, but I'll get to that later. Tomo practices karate with boys because she can't with girls. Tomo's incredibly strong, even men fear her. But her karate club senpai, Misaki, isn't afraid and sees her as a woman. She's seen as a strong, admirable woman, yet can't resist her charms. Their friendship irks two love-struck girls who adore Misaki. Seeing her with Tomo, they seek revenge on her. Tomo sees this as a threat and eliminates threats. They just want Misaki. Tomo's glad, thinking they want dating advice. Giving love tips is girly. Tomo's joy at being seen as a girl charms them. On the bus, a creep nears Tomo. She holds back, but Yun steps in. This makes Tomo wonder if Yun sees her as a guy or a girl. To clear up any doubts, he goes to Misuzu and explains. He first worries about what happened, then plans for Tomo to meet Yun without tights. Yun can't resist such temptation. Pretending not to see, he covers her, and as expected, love's breeze arrives, giving Yun quite a view, causing him to faint. In the end, Tomo is charmed by this new side of Yun. Later, Tomo tells Misuzu about Yun fainting, and Misuzu laughs hysterically. At school, there's a British student, Carol, who has all the boys smitten for two reasons. Her sweet, helpless persona. Obviously, Carol claims to be Misaki's fiancé, or at least that's what she says. When Misaki introduces Tomo, Carol blurts out. Tomo gets upset. Misaki clarifies that Tomo's a girl, and Carol gets oddly defensive.
Misuzu instantly gets that Carol's jealous, but Tomo doesn't. Carol asks Misuzu for help beating Tomo, her rival. Misuzu cleverly sends her to Jun instead. Carol questions why she should talk to Jun. Misuzu cryptically says she'll understand when she sees him. Carol seeks Jun's help, who agrees to mentor her, transforming her from a kitten to a bear, so to speak. After school, they leave together. Tomo sees them and becomes hysterical just as Misuzu planned. Misuzu's goal was to make Tomo feel the need to act, fearing she might lose her guy. Jun and Carol begin their training. Since Carol can't act, Jun goes for close combat. Tomo arrives, sees them together, and reveals her inner feelings. Carol realizes why Misuzu sent her with Jun. Tomo likes Jun, so Carol no longer sees Tomo as a rival and leaves. She invites Misuzu to lunch as thanks and tries to befriend her. Carol struggles with friendships due to her innocent directness, which often pushes people away. But kind Tomo agrees to be Carol's friend anyway, and Misuzu accepts too, just because. However, Misuzu will face the fact that she can't control Carol with mind games. Now they're friends, the two most popular girls in school, Carol the idol and Misuzu the ice princess. Boys fawn over them, but Jun doesn't see them that way. He and Misuzu even dated before. Hearing this, Tomo is left speechless. He rushes to confront Misuzu about keeping secrets from him. Well, now she finally tells him. Back in high school, Jun had asked to be her boyfriend. Since Jun was popular then, Misuzu smiled, thinking she'd get to enjoy the other girls' envy. But it didn't turn out as expected. Jun was too energetic and proactive, just like Tomo. This tired Misuzu out. She thought of breaking up, but Jun beat her to it, ending things painfully. This breakup scarred Misuzu for life. By the way, they never did anything beyond holding hands. Tomo wants to introduce Misaki to Jun. Upon seeing Misaki, Jun mistakes him for a woman. The guy's got it backwards. He sees men as women and women as men. Jun gets jealous of Misaki's good relationship with Tomo, bullying him to assert dominance. Poor Misaki. Misuzu tells Tomo to stop messing around and ask Jun out. Carol overhears and asks to join. Misuzu and Carol plan Tomo's date look, insisting she dresses like a proper lady. They transform Tomo, who then meets June. He's stunned by her beauty, left speechless. They stroll around town, eventually ending up at a karaoke place. June has a blast while Tomo feels embarrassed and has naughty thoughts. Tomo decides to let loose and start singing. June is charmed but can't help laughing at Tomo's childish song choices. Later, Tomo recounts the date to the girls. Carol's happy about the progress, but Misuzu's disappointed there was no action, as Tomo spent 3 hours singing kids' songs. They all go to karaoke, where Misuzu shows off her angelic voice. Carol sings in English, reminding us of her British background. And now it's time for the queen of children's songs. Tomo wakes up surprised to find Jun in his room. Jun's practically living there now, as Tomo's dad is a karate master. Jun skipped karate club to learn Tomo's dad's fighting style. Dad's tough but turns shy around Kemi, Tomo's mum. Kemi's frustrated he can't even look her in the eye. She misses their passionate, unrestrained moments. They met in high school. She was daring, he was her protector. At school, girls tell Tomo I'm lunching with Jun. Carol lends her headband, so Tomo has to go. Meanwhile, Misuzu and Carol lunch separately. Carol mentions her engagement to Misaki, but there's a snag. Misaki sees Carol as her little sister. It's not the same as Tomo, but Misaki doesn't see Carol as a girl either. On the way back, Tomo's embarrassed by what she endured, but Carol interrupts her tantrum. Meanwhile, the love-struck friends arrive with a problem. They went on a group date, and a self-proclaimed ladies' man has his eye on Ogawa. The issue is, if this bully gets rejected, he'll make life unbearable. That's why Ogawa is scared and asks Tomo for help. Tomo tries talking to the bully, but he's too smart, so she teaches him a lesson and vows to protect her friends. The friends are left both smitten and confused. The bully calls his gang to confront Tomo, but Jun overhears and rushes to defend his crush. The gang tries to take on Jun, but he easily beats them all. The lesson was so harsh, they even apologize to Tomo, leaving her completely baffled. Jun takes her home and she's injured from fighting everyone for her sake. Seems the damsel in distress and brutish protector dynamic repeats itself. Carol invites the girls over and a lady with a foreign accent arrives, clearly Carol's mum. They enter and see how Carol and her mum are equally affectionate. Carol hugs Tomo, but Misuzu refuses to be hugged. Carol points out their matching braids, but the cold Misuzu messes up her hair. Carol's mom gets a bit annoyed because Misuzu treats her little daughter badly, so she calls Misuzu to ask if she's a bad person. Misuzu, colder than the North Pole, tells her she's only friends with Carol for her money. Carol's mom just laughs, finding Misuzu's bluntness endearing. For some reason, Misuzu feels defeated. She can't handle Carol, and now she can't handle her mom either. But in the end, they had a good time. Exam time arrives, and the girls plan to study together. Yun wants to study with Tomo, but Misuzu tells him to buzz off since she ranked first in the previous exams. Yun is left feeling defeated. Tomo is confused because usually Misuzu would try to set him up with Yun. The truth is, Misuzu wants Tomo all to herself and sees Carol as a third wheel. They arrive at Misuzu's house, and a refined lady, Misuzu's mother, the Ice Queen, greets them. Upon seeing Tomo, she remarks that Tomo looks a lot like her mother, but advises her not to become like her. Yes, Misuzu and Tomo's mothers, just like them, were best friends since childhood. Carol approaches, complimenting Misuzu's mother's beauty. However, Misuzu's mom, just like her daughter, doesn't appreciate the affection. They study together, and Tomo understands thanks to Misuzu, enabling him to aim for the same university. Misuzu's surprised. Thanks to her, Tomo entered her high school and now wants to follow her to university too. Misuzu can't handle such affection, only Tomo can melt her icy heart. And well, Carol tries her best. After exams, Misuzu plays second, and guess who's first? Carol. Jun invites Tomo to play video games like old times and stay overnight. Yes, Tomo will be sleeping over at Jun's house. She tells the girls and informs her parents. Akimi's already thinking of grandkid names, while her dad just says, "Don't cause trouble." Tomo's miffed that her dad doesn't worry about her staying with a boy. She arrives at Jun's and is surprised to find his mom isn't home. It's about to be an epic gaming session. While gaming, Tomo recalls calling Jun a gamer. They tussle, realize the situation, and decide to sleep. Jun dozes off. Tomo touches him, but Jun's spider sense activates. He grabs her defensively, and they stay like that. The next day, Yun wakes up startled to find Tomo beside him. Tomo, groggy, doesn't recall at first. After saying goodbye, they both realize they slept together and feel embarrassed. Seeing them like this, Carol and Misuzu can't help but smile. It's Tomo's birthday. Yun gives stylish glasses, Misuzu a book, and Carol a gold bar. She's that wealthy. Misuzu suggests investing money in Tomo. How, you ask? With a radical makeover. They transform Tomo to look ultra-feminine, resulting in a beautiful, unrecognizable version. The girls pretend to need something, sending Tomo to the store. It's a setup. Yun's there and doesn't recognize Tomo, or at least thinks it can't be despite the resemblance. Tomo wants to leave quickly but trips. Yun helps, treating her gently, which Tomo enjoys. He's so carefree he asks her to take a walk around. They spot kids playing soccer, with a girl and her friend standing out. The two are best friends despite being a boy and a girl. Yun asks Tomo, thinking she's just a random girl. He asks what she thinks will happen to those kids in the future. Tomo says it'd be normal if they became a couple. Yun gets down, sharing he has a similar situation with a girl. All he wants is to be able to beat her. Tomo wants to reveal it's her, but Yun mentions melting ice cream. Then Tomo runs off without saying anything more. At home, girls sing happy birthday as Tomo learns more about Yun. Next day, Yun inspects Tomo's face. She punches him, making him happy. It seems Yun has a fetish for getting punched by Tomo. The sports festival arrives. Since Tomo's so aggressive, she can't join the girls and teams up with the boys instead. She forms a dodgeball team with Yun. The tournament starts. Their first opponents are the bullies, who start crying when they see the two beasts who train them. Easy win for Tomo's team. Next up is Misaki's group. Knowing what they're up against, she warns her teammates to prioritize survival over scoring points. The pretty boy laughs, but quickly realizes Misaki wasn't joking. Another victory for Tomo, and they make it to the finals. In the finals, they face Takeru, the academy's strongest, known as the Gorilla. Takeru's interested in Yun, wanting her to join his judo club. The game starts. Takeru wipes out Tomo's team. As Tomo's about to get hit, Yun jumps in, taking the hit to save her. He activates Saiyan God and gives it his all in his final shot. A brutal shot that drops, bouncing off as it takes an indirect path. And so Tomo's group wins the championship. Takeru wants to challenge John to a PvP match. They have about 100 duels. Takeru wins more, but admits defeat as John didn't go all out. Takeru asks Jun where he aims to direct his strength and talent. Jun says he's striving to one day beat his greatest rival. A rival he cares for deeply. It's unclear, but his desire to surpass a loved one makes sense given Jun's past. Jun had moved from Tokyo and met an energetic neighbor, Tomo. Tomo was so energetic he broke Jun's game consoles. Jun gets angry and throws a punch at him. Tomo takes the hit to make amends for his mistake. Tomo and his dad come to apologize, quite dramatically. Kemi arrives, and Jun is thrilled to see the lovely lady. All is forgiven. While there, Tomo asks Jun to be friends. They go back and forth, but Tomo's too energetic. Jun can't keep up with her. Tomo calls him a gamer, cause he's always playing. Jokingly, Tomo seems to make Jun's heart race. Remember, Jun thought Tomo was a boy then. Tomo introduces him to little Misuzu. Small or not, she's still just as cold. She bluntly tells Jun he looks dumb, and her creepy smile is ever present. Young Misuzu enjoyed others' pain, they never got along. Even as a kid, Misuzu was jealous of Tomo, or rather, she was protective of what's hers. They spent so much time together, Jun started following Tomo's lead. One day, some kids caught Jun alone and beat him, taking his console. Jun hides it, but Tomo notices and gets the console back. Of course, she comes back with some bruises too. Jun gets mad, but Tomo puts him in his place. Jun's grateful but cries, knowing he could never do the same for her, so she gives Jun her console, which he can only get back when he's stronger than her. And so Jun starts training with Tomo's dad. To this day, he keeps improving, hoping to someday surpass his beloved rival. Tomo thinks it's time for him to come get his console back, but he's not quite there yet. As expected, a beach day is coming up. They show off their bikinis. Jun avoids looking, unaware that Tomo has potential he'll never match. Jun gets 2 big reality checks and is left speechless. He sits with Misuzu, unable to join the others for obvious reasons. Misuzu feels offended as Jun indirectly called her flat-chested. Tomo drags Jun away thoughtlessly and he can't handle it. The love-struck friends see Carol and Tomo's assets and avoid them. Well, Misuzu knows all about that. Carol gets close to Jun, but he tries to avoid her. Tomo gets angry. Carol asks why Jun avoids her and Tomo, but not Misuzu. Innocently, he indirectly called Misuzu flat as a board. The guy approaches Tomo, but Jun defends her and scares him off. Tomo's thrilled, but Jun messes up, saying he didn't mean to imply they're dating. Carol needs help too. Jun assists, and guys assume he's the blonde's boyfriend. Jun doesn't mind. Tomo feels foolish seeing Jun okay with others thinking he's taken, but not with her. Misuzu advises Tomo to keep getting closer to Jun. While eating ice cream, some falls on Tomo's shoulder. She removes it sensually, causing an emotional whirlwind for Jun. They enjoy themselves, but Jun's thoughtful. Misuzu's glad to see Jun conflicted, but he now sees Tomo as a girl. The girls play the king's game. Carol becomes king and orders Tomo to imitate Misuzu. Tomo can't do it, so Misuzu does it herself. Later, Misuzu wins king and sends Tomo and Jun alone to see the fireworks. Tomo informs Jun, who accepts casually. Tomo hoped Jun would hug her excitedly, but he didn't, making her think he's down. At home, Carol asks if Misuzu's okay with them becoming a normal couple someday. Misuzu, troubled by Carol's words, ponders their future as she tries to sleep, but by suggesting she could use Jun so that she and Tomo can... It's festival day. Carol and Misaki plan to go, but only if Misuzu joins. Tomo arrives in a stunning kimono, her beauty so radiant that Iyong is dazzled. Carol strolls around while Misuzu spots the lovebirds from afar. Carol brought her to see their progress. Yun and Tomo end up having a great time. You could say it's a perfect 10 out of 10 for their first date. Next day, the girls chat. Tomo says Iyong's seeing her differently now, citing his actions this morning. Carol seizes the chance to confront Tomo, while Misuzu ponders her fate if those two become a couple. The thugs plot revenge on Tomo, targeting her best friend as the perfect way to get back at her. Misuzu, cold as ice, proves to be intimidating enough to scare off the troublemakers. When Carol arrives, Misuzu pretends not to know her to keep her out of trouble. Carol, no fool, whips out her stun gun and subdues the bully. Even Carol manages to put the poor thug in his place. Misuzu grabs Carol's hand to escape, surprising Carol, who's unused to physical contact with her. Covered in dirt, they hide from the thugs and call Jun for help. Tomo arrives looking serious, Jun explains, and Misaki overhears from afar. In hiding, Carol feels hurt by Misuzu's words but realizes they were meant to protect her friend. Carol's joy is short-lived as thugs arrive, but Tomo and Jun show up and beat them up. Misaki arrives to find Carol undressed and bruised. Misaki, furious, assumes the thugs abused Carol. Tomo and Jun restrain Misaki from attacking, though he wants to do worse. It's clarified Carol just changed clothes. Misaki's embarrassed. Carol's thrilled by his reaction. Misuzu warns them that Tomo's dad is the legendary ex-thug turned karate master, so she verbally intimidates them to prevent future trouble. Poor thug, everyone ended up teaching him a lesson. Back at school, Jun's closer to Tomo, making her happy. Misaki enters Tomo's father's dojo to train with Jun and Tomo, two karate powerhouses, though beast is an overstatement for Jun. Misaki gives her all fighting Jun but overdoes it. In an exchange of blows, Misaki gets knocked out. Misaki wakes in Tomo's room, who was caring for him. He thanks Tomo and heads home with Carol. Carol, nervous about Misaki leaving Tomo's house, asks what Tomo means to him. Misaki replies that Tomo is a strong woman he greatly admires. Carol takes this badly and decides to act, seeking out Jun to ask him on a date. Jun and Carol go to the park but somehow end up in Jun's room for reasons unknown. And here Carol goes on the offensive. She wanted to date Young to flirt for two reasons. One, to show once and for all that Tomo, like her, is a woman. And two, mainly to make Misaki jealous. Young finds Tomo and hugs her, scared by Carol's strange behavior. Misuzu seeks Misaki to clarify and learns Misaki likes Carol. Misuzu will do what she does best, for Carol's sake. She bluntly tells Carol that Misaki sees her only as a little sister. She's lying to make Carol show her true feelings. Carol can't take it and runs off, shocking Young and Tomo. Misuzu, most surprised, shakily seeks Misaki to check on Carol. Misaki runs to find Carol. At home, Carol's mom headbutts Misaki for making her daughter cry. In Carol's room, Misaki sees a side of her she never saw before. Carol hits Misaki for making her cry. Misaki clarifies that what Misuzu said was a lie. Carol throws a fit, but Misaki's here to tell the truth. Carol listens attentively to the truth. Once their mutual love is confirmed, things fall into place. Misaki asks what drew her to him, but Carol's unsure. As a child, Misaki was so spoiled he struggled to make friends. Adults called him an angel, a term for kids only cute on the outside. That's what he thought until he met young Carol. Carol was a true angel, adorable inside and out. They grew up together. Misaki always protected Carol, nurturing an innocent love. Now they're here, engaged for real this time. Carol's about to pounce, but her mom blows the whistle, ending the game. Carol's mom tells Misaki that Carol cried a lot as a child, but when told she looked prettier smiling, she stopped crying and started to smile. So much that she hides her feelings behind a smile. Carol's mom feared something might wipe the smile off her daughter's face, but Misaki only wants to protect Carol's smile, so her mom trusts him a bit. Just like that. About as much as I can trust myself. Carol comes to school masked. Misuzu's still scared, but Carol apologizes to her and Tomo. In the end, they make up. The school marathon starts, and Tomo and Jun are ready to give it their all. Misuzu and Carol not so much, but the inspector makes them run anyway. Tomo and Jun race to see who can finish first. The inspector with her C90 comes to check, but as she leads, Tomo and Jun go all out to beat her. Tomo and Jun lead the way, but suddenly Tomo collapses and faints. Jun rushes her to the hospital, leaving Misuzu worried sick. Turns out, Tomo went for a run the night before, fell asleep in the shower after returning home, and caught a cold as a result. Relieved, Misuzu suggests Tomo use this chance to get closer to Jun. Tomo then plays up her weakness so Jun will carry her. He leaves her with her mom, and all's well that ends well. The next day, Jun visits Tomo, who's feeling much better. Tomo returns Jun's console and admits he's gotten stronger, but won't let him win, of course. Their healthy rivalry brings out the best in them, making them even closer friends. But let me tell you, this friendship was once on the brink of collapse. Back in middle school, Jun was shocked to see Tomo in a skirt. He'd always thought Tomo was a boy. Always. Now that he knows she's a girl, he's clueless about hanging out with her. Misuzu sees Tomo getting fitter daily, and being calm and low energy herself, fears losing their friendship. Both Jun and Misuzu fear losing Tomo. Misuzu thinks only Jun can keep Tomo in check. I'll use him to stay friends with her. Jun thinks, Misuzu's my childhood friend. I'll date her to learn about girls so I can stay friends with Tomo. So Misuzu uses Jun to keep her friendship with Tomo, while Jun learns from Misuzu to deal with Tomo. This adventure starts, but it's a mess because, as I said, Misuzu and Jun are totally incompatible. Misuzu gets tired and wants to be honest. Tomo takes her somewhere private to talk. Tomo assures her their friendship won't change, whether she's athletic, paralyzed, or even a capybara. Misuzu laughs at this and smiles genuinely at the sentiment. It's Misuzu's first natural smile. She no longer needs Jun, so she wants to break up and crush his heart as painfully as possible. But you know how it goes. After class, Jun tries to talk to Tomo after ignoring her for days. Tomo is clearly upset with him, but also sad. Jun opens up, wanting to go back to how things were before. Tomo says nothing changed. Jun sees her as his best friend, but his feelings are slowly evolving. Jun's birthday is coming up, and Tomo wants to work to buy him a gift. Misuzu and Carol join to help. Tanabe, Jun's friend who likes Misuzu, shows up. Tanabe offers them jobs at his ramen shop. The girls accept and put on their waitress uniforms. They open the shop and start working, but Tomo struggles and Carol talks nonsense. Then Misuzu becomes unusually friendly and starts organizing the place, telling Tomo to serve food and Carol to be the panda mascot to attract customers. But Carol takes the panda role a bit too literally. All goes well until Jun arrives, as he's a regular customer. Tomo's surprised, and Misuzu teases her by asking Jun how cute Tomo looks in her waitress outfit. Jun just says she looks fine. Tomo serves Jun his food, hoping for a compliment. Jun simply says she doesn't look bad. With Carol's charm, Tomo's energy, and Misuzu's serious yet charismatic approach, the workday is a huge success. The next day, Tomo buys Jun a gift, a watch. Tomo wonders how to make Jun see her as a girl. It's been a while since this issue came up, but Misuzu has a solution. Physical contact. But it's still direct, so the physical contact becomes an accident. On the stairs, not considering the risks, Misuzu pushes Jun towards Tomo. As Tomo waits to catch Jun, he takes control and falls in a way neither Tomo nor Misuzu expected. Carol isn't mad, she's got Red Fury backing her up. Misuzu's inner turmoil over her actions leads to karma striking as she tumbles down the stairs, but Tanabe is there to break her fall. Shocked by the Jun incident, Misuzu tells Tanabe he can ask for anything as thanks. She's clearly rattled. It's Tanabe's chance, but he must act fast before Misuzu comes to her senses. He simply asks for her number. Feeling guilty about everything, Misuzu sees herself as an obstacle in Tomo and Jun's relationship. The next day, a sick Misuzu misses class. Tomo worries while Misuzu, resting at home, gets a surprise visitor. Tomo arrives with medicine, but Misuzu avoids talking. Tomo thinks Misuzu dislikes her and leaves her alone. Misuzu tries to reflect but gets upset, learning she'll play Cinderella in the school festival. Misuzu chose Carol for a role. Yun comes to tease Misuzu, but Tommy and Carol support her. Yun can't mock anyone since he's playing a tree. Practice starts. Misuzu dislikes being a princess. Carol plays the provocative stepmother, Tomo the prince. Though a girl, Tomo's a handsome prince, but her feminine side often shows. Tomo can't act, but playing the charming prince comes naturally to her. They try on costumes. Misuzu looks stunningly beautiful. Yun shines as a tree. Seeing Yun sad, Misuzu advises him to be direct with Tomo. Yun gets called out for telling others to be direct when he isn't, as he tends to beat around the bush. As they leave, Tomo tries to chat with Yun, role-playing Cinderella, and they start practicing together. Tomo really enjoys it, but Yun's not so keen. Still, they continue to practice. The cultural festival begins, and the girls' mothers gather. Misuzu's mom almost didn't come, as Misuzu lied about the festival. Now she's panicking since her mom will record everything. The performance starts with Cinderella, who looks more vengeful than sad. Carol enters, her mom goes nuts, and the tree just stands there being a tree. Prince Tomo arrives, making all the local girls swoon. Cinderella makes her grand entrance and dances with the prince. They put on that glass slipper, and it all ends happily. The show's a hit, helping Misuzu and Tomo patch things up again. Afterward, Jun invites Tomo to explore the festival. First, they hit the cafe where love-struck friends fawn over Tomo but snub Jun. Then it's off to the haunted house where Misaki's doing the scaring. Tomo gets a huge fright and Misaki is about to get clobbered, but Jun stops her, and so they wander here and there. Tomo's thrilled, but can't help wondering about her future with Jun. At the bonfire dance, Jun boldly asks Tomo to dance with him. Misuzu's alone, but not for long. Tanabe wants to dance with her, but she ignores him as usual. However, Misuzu isn't really alone since Carol is with her. Misuzu thanks Carol for arranging the performance to help her reconcile with Tomo. Carol claims ignorance, saying she just wanted to take this photo. They both watch Jun and Tomo dancing together. Tomo tells Jun that dancing as a pair might give others the wrong idea. Jun replies that their assumptions aren't wrong. Hearing this, Tomo runs away, embarrassed. Afterward, Tomo's very active. When Jun mentions the bonfire, she acts clueless and escapes. Carol and Misuzu notice this behavior. By the way, Misuzu finally lets Carol hug her, but only because it's cold. If there's a heater nearby, she won't want Carol's hugs anymore. Tomo keeps avoiding the bonfire topic and always runs away from it. Misaki chats with Jun, who confesses he's in love with Tomo but doesn't know what to do. Misaki advises Jun to be straightforward and cheers him on. Before making a move, Jun decides to tell Misuzu he's going to try dating Tomo. Misuzu's like, WTF? Why is he telling me this? It's what we all wanted from the start. Turns out Jun's worried about Misuzu's feelings, thinking their past breakup still affects her. Misuzu's stunned, realizing Jun held back with Tomo to avoid making her uncomfortable. Misuzu gives her blessing, but first asks if she was his first love. Jun firmly says no, because his first love. Tomo gets a challenge letter on the school rooftop. Tomo's pumped for the duel, but it's Jun who set a trap so she can't escape. With everything set, Jun asks Tomo to hit him. Since that time under the cherry tree, Jun understood Tomo's confession, but didn't take it seriously. Tomo is really upset about that. Jun knows he messed up and wants to make things right. He confesses to Tomo, but she calls him an idiot. Later, Tomo regrets it, but she's not the only one with regrets. Misuzu opens up and apologizes to Tomo for being a bad friend. How was she a bad friend? She told Tomo to be more feminine for Jun, but Tomo just needed to be herself. No one wanted her to change. She's truly sorry, and encourages Tomo to be herself, no strings attached. With newfound confidence, Tomo goes to find Jun. Koro hugs Misuzu, praising her for expressing her feelings. Tomo won't run away now, so she goes to Jun, wondering about their relationship. Jun challenges her to a race up the stairs. Tomo wins, and Jun says he wants this relationship. He wants it to stay the same, with their rivalry and friendship. To Jun, Tomo is his childhood friend, best friend, rival, and the girl he loves. Tomo feels the same and tells him so. After confessing, Jun starts acting super affectionate. Tomo can't resist, and not wanting to be left behind, Carlos suggests she give him a little kiss. Tomo hesitates, so Misuzu suggests they watch a movie to set the mood. It's a movie full of kissing scenes. Tomo invites Jun to see this film, but Jun gets really nervous. Tomo's fine, having spent hours staring at the poster to prepare. Midway through, a wild Kuto scene appears. Tomo's unprepared, but Jun's so shocked he can't look away. They leave the cinema acting like a cute couple, but Tomo wants to go further, so she asks Jun to her room, hoping to get closer to him. As tension builds, Tomo can't hold back and blurts out that she wants to kiss him. Jun's mind goes blank. Jun holds Tomo firmly, who can't believe it, but it's not what he expects, as Jun slaps himself to wake up, feeling it's wrong to do such things without being a couple. Wait a minute, Tomo says. What do you mean we're not a couple? Turns out when Jun told her parents, Mom approved, but Dad said she must defeat him first. Tomo loses it, yells at his dad, who's hurt but won't change his mind. Tomo's mad at his dad, but also at Jun for not telling him sooner. She's unsure what to do. The girls say not to worry. Love is love. Misaki agrees, saying if Jun fights for her, she should cheer him on. So Tomo, now clear-headed, races to support his love, who's getting thrashed by his dad. Jun doesn't give up when Tomo arrives to cheer him on. If he loses, she'll keep fighting for him so they can be a real couple. Motivated, Jun realizes Tomo's always been a step ahead of him, and he can't fall behind. He must win on his own, without her help. He has to do it for her. He has to win for her. With a final blow, Jun staggers his father, but he won't fall. Kami steps in to end it. Jun's victory means they can finally be together. Jun takes the lead and officially asks Tomo to be his girlfriend. Tomo's annoyed she didn't ask first, but since he made the first move, she'll give the first kiss. And so begins their relationship, a love rivalry to see who can love the other more.